Alright, reds. Rampage. Ends rags a rampage. 5 mana sorcery. Destroy all artifacts you don't control. Then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts that were put into graveyards from the battlefield this turn. You may put a creature card exiled this way onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to your... What a weird card. The removal spell is great in standard. It kills Rafine. Okay, fair enough. What's it called? Long Goodbye. Alright, it's Fat Fingers. Alright, let's move on unless someone has some genius combo idea. Case of the Burning Masks. 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, deals 3 damage to a target creature and open controls. Great rates. Solve. 3 or more sources you control that damage this turn. Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. Solve. Sack this case, exile the top 3 cards that will library. Choose one of them. You at least let us play all the cards. Alright, card's terrible. What if it was solved you can play all the cards, all 3 cards? It would still probably not be playable, right? It does trigger prowess. And good, it was all your sheep. Maybe if solve L lets you play all the cards, maybe even then. I think it's gonna be easier to solve than you think. 3 or more sources you control dealt damage this turn. 1 drop, 2 drop. Oh, it's dealt damage periods. I mean, there's that removal spell in the Here's Warcraft thing. It's a little different. And at least it kills shield reds. It's probably still like too situational and stuff. Case of the Crimson Pulse. Red and 2. When this case enters a battlefield, discard a card. Wow. Another Fable? When it enters a battlefield, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. So it's Torment and Voice for 1 more mana, or like Bitter Reunion. To solve, you have no cards in hand. Solved. At the beginning of your upkeep, discard your hand and draw 2 cards. Huh? Excuse me? Taking the review without cancer. He didn't ask me. If you don't have cards, you draw 2 for Fist Ab? What? Adge, sorry. I mean, you have to be able to empty your hand really fast, but maybe in Modern. Maybe you can abuse it in Modern too. Is this card Dredge? What about 1? 1 was nothing. Case of the Crimson Pulse, 1 was nothing. 3 mana has so many? Yeah, but it does something for 3 mana. Sismic Assault. I mean, in the burn deck, just literally all the 1 mana spells. Is this set fully released? I believe so. If it's your last card, does it instantly solve and you just draw 2? If unsolved, solve at... No, it doesn't solve just to solve it always at the end of turn. Doesn't work in multiples, though. Does it not? What happens at the beginning of your upkeep? They both go on the stack? Why would it not work? It works if you draw a bunch of instant speed burn spells, right? You have to get lucky. If it's all instant, it kind of works, yeah. Problem with that card is you have to build your deck super around it, and then if you don't draw it, or if somehow they destroy it, then your deck's probably just unplayable. Vengevines and Rootwalla. Yeah, Conflagrate, right? Pretty good was Conflagrate. 1 was nothing was maybe a little extreme, but... What was that? 1 was nothing. Still pretty slow to get going for Modern. Yeah, Besiege is a problem. Some synergy with Spitfire Elementals, you mean like Fury? It's too slow for an Amulet Titan format. If our Richest Dragon makes you discard your hand EOT, would that work? Would that stack properly? Could you like solve it on turn 4? It's not sure it works. Bow makes a draw to a big downside, yeah. Standard burn, yeah. I mean, ideally, if you want to build your deck with all 1 mana cards and deck cards, it would be nice to have another card that does a bit of the same thing. Because you're not gonna draw it in like a third of your games, right? You're not gonna draw it, and then your deck's probably like not good enough. But maybe. You usually want to play some 2 mana cards, some 3 mana cards, maybe some 4 mana cards in your even in your red aggressive decks in standard. So did you come in against top 8 already, Gab? Would love to know your general thoughts on the meta. I was personally happy that Rhino did well, kind of felt vindicated. Um, I was surprised Scam did so poorly. I don't know if it did well in South America, but South America was only 200 players. One explanation was that maybe a lot of people who are new to Modern just defaulted to Grief, and that hurt a bit their win rates. Nothing special, honestly. Just Modern's in a good place. Even though it's going to be probably a big change with Modern Horizon 3, but I don't know. I think Modern's fun. It's a good place. There's a lot of different strategies you can play. Yogg just still seeming like best deck in a vacuum, but I think like Rhino's really good against Yogg. We saw Pivo just defeat Yogg pretty easily, even though he did draw well. I was hoping to play against Yogg all day was my Rhino list. Yeah, nothing super insightful if you already know a bunch about Modern. Case of the Crimson Pulse, yeah, I can at least go on the list. Alright, let's move on. This Skytron and Martyr were 3 decks that were surprising to me. I mean, that Martyr list has been around. I don't know if it's good. I guess maybe Jeskai Breach was maybe the deck of the tournament. Even though the guy ended up not making it quite to Worlds, but I mean, it's not a new deck, but just playing Breach instead of Murktide is maybe the way to go. It did look pretty good for him in the feature match. Alright, caught red-handed, 5 mana blob. This can't be countered, gain control. Conceal the weapon. I'm gonna bottle reading that. Connecting the dots. 2 mana. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. You can't look at it. 2 mana. Discard your hand. Is it Bowmaster? Discard your. Oh, not Bowmaster. Bowmat. Discard your hands, sacrifice it, put all the cards exile to their owner's hands. So it's like a Bowmat Courier enchantment. You just have to attack, like Bowmat, I guess. It triggers Prowess too. It's a lot of cards. I always think these cards are going to be good, and not. I don't always think they're going to be good, but also it's like, oh, maybe it could be, and then they never end up being good. All these cards. Sideboard card versus control. Yeah, about lockdown. I mean, Pioneer's just. Is my card good against temporary lockdown? It does a lockdown test. That's a big part of what Pioneer might be. Counts every creature separately. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that card's gonna be good enough, but I could be wrong. Well, anyone like really convinced that card's gonna be good? Played against Breach this weekend and felt kind of busted. Jerry also kind of crushed it. Oh, that's a combo card. So what are the combos with Crime Novelist? A red and 2, 1 free Goblin Bard. Whenever you sack an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Crime Novelist and add a red. Alright, hit me, chat. Black Lotus, Lotus Battle. Thank you. Animation module plus sack outlet. So you get a mana. So it's infinite with Ravager and module. Turn 1 module, turn 2 Ravager, turn 3 that, but you need another artifact to sack. A Welding Jar. You sack it, you get a mana. With the mana, you pay to get a 1/1 of the module, and then you just rinse repeat. So you have an infinite Ravager, and an infinite Novelist on turn 3. That's modern though, right? Isn't that their hasty Thopter legendary creature in standard? Grinding Station Bubble. Grinding Station Bubble? They also need Breach, and then you're already winning anyways. I don't get it. Spike is bringing a Goblin artifact combo with all the goblins we got in the set. Animation model is in Pioneer. Any sack outlets? Surely for creatures, right? It might be in weird colors though. Yeah, Legacy counts. We didn't look about Legacy at all. But the cards that are good in other formats, I don't know enough about Legacy. I doubt it. Was Anvil? So what you do was Anvil. What is that? How'd you go infinite was Anvil? Every sack outlet in Pioneer. Is it every sack outlet that doesn't cost mana? Alright, stop me if there's actually one that works. This one, sack a creature. So you go turn 1 module, turn 2 Oracle, turn 3 that thing. But you need the mana to get going. Because you don't have Welding Jar, you only have Ornithopter, it's only 0 mana artifact. Bartolome, so Mardu. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be like exactly like be able to go out on turn 3, but it would be nice. So there's no free. Where's the 2/2/4? Why is that not on the list? Where's what's his face? Bartolome. How do I search? Where's the search button? Let's hit enter. Could be artifact too. So for instance, with Ali, if you have a 1 mana, that means it's turn 4. You also get infinite life. Cardinals aristocrats. You need the mana. You get the mana from the 1 free. Oh, Woe Strider. Citadel is not legal in Pioneer. I mean, I'm sure in Modern there's a million things you can do. But also Modern is going to have way more cheap interaction and it's probably not going to be good in Modern. Oh yeah, Citadel is legal. Alright, that seems like a deck we could try and brew. Let's see. I don't know, maybe I'm sure someone's already done that. If you already have a starting list, feel free to share. Here it goes, Dad. Let's get a proxy for the Goblin free drop. Treasure Vault, Epic. Ooh, I love Epicure. It's like my favorite cards. What's the brew? Animation module was crime novelist and then something. What's the other one we said? The vault. Ringleader? Ringleader is not legal, right? In Pioneer. Wait, Ringleader is legal in Pioneer? You need more goblins. Ringleader is not good. Is Matron legal? Intruder. Is Intruder a goblin too? It's a gremlin. Of course it is. Oh, it's ATOG. Let's see. Sacrifice creature. Maybe this is a poor way of doing it. Maybe we should do that with Scryfall. I'm not in a rush though. Oh, Moto's done. Oh no, Moto's back. Okay, this is a very bad way of doing it. Let's not be dumb. Kirk Prospector. Is that card legal? Anyone who suggests a card that's not perennial legal gets a timeout. Wow, good job dodging. That doesn't do a ton for us, right? Every second artifact. Yeah, that's not very good. Repeatable artifact sacks or creature sacks. Cat oven, but then we lose the artifact lands, basically. Yeah, Prospector is not good in our deck. 2/2 for 2, enemy enough combat on your turn, you may pay 1 and sacrifice an artifact if you do create a... still too weak. New Krenko. Is it in the new set? We want 4 Fable. Probably right that we want 4 Fable. And then Experimental. I don't think Experimental can be good in our deck, right? We have too many free mana cards. It is a nice engine. Isn't like maybe the desk better at this point? Mardu. Well, we have to pick if we want artifact lands or it does be like a beatdown deck. Kind of like medium beatdown deck, but with the upside of having a turn free kill. Yeah, I agree. Too many free drops for that card. Why does a Gleeful interact with Citadel? Destroy target artifact. Gleaming Geardrake. That's blue-red, probably. 1/2 pirate. What else does module do? Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put onto a permanent you control. NT, yeah. NT probably like ties the deck together. Probably an NT deck. Oh, will be one. Third Ginger. NT gives Trample to Intruder, true. So that lets you go module into Ginger. Triggers of Blood Token. Just gives you an aggro draw of like Intruder into Ginger. It doesn't have haste always. Does it always have haste? No. Good selection. Yeah, Bartolome is good, but yeah, you could definitely build a Mardu build and give up the artifact lands. The artifact lands lets you turn free kill though. Either that or Ornithopter. Bomat? No, I think Bomat's not good if you don't play a lot of removal. Why Bomat? Bomat sounds pretty bad in this deck. What's the new card? Is it a gold card? Maybe we should finish the red cards. Something about a Drake. I'm assuming a blue-red card. Gleaming Gear Drake. 1/1 for 2 flying. When it enters a battlefield, investigate, and it's an artifact creature itself. Whenever you sack an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Synthesizer? No, I think Synthesizer. Well, it depends how you build your deck, but you don't want too many free mana cards if you play that card. So what does that do for you? You go 1 drop. You play that on turn 2. On turn 3, you play your Goblin. It's not a sack outlet though. So it doesn't work with your nut draws, but it is just gives you more resilience. You could go like turn 2 Intruder, turn 3 Gear Drake. You go like turn 1 Epicure, turn 2 Intruder, turn 3 Gear Drake, get a clue, sag the clue to Intruder, sag the blood token to Intruder, attack for 5, your Gear. I mean, it doesn't sound that exciting. Not in this shell. Alright, what's the new Krenko? Any other red cards? We'll go back to the other red cards, but Krenko, Baron of Tin Street, 3 mana, Haze Goblin, tap, sack an artifact, put a +1 counter on each goblin you control. Whenever an artifact is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay red. If you do, create a red one. So how does that work? I mean, it doesn't do anything, right? I mean, you have to play cheap goblins. Like, I mean, the best it can do is attack on turn 3. And then on turn 4, you tap it, sack an artifact. On turn 4, you have a red mana up. Feels kind of win more of a card. I mean, it's a free haste for free, I guess, and it does like cute little stuff. You set on next week Legacy Council next Tuesday, I think. Goldhound from Capenna, 1/1 first strike menace that is a treasure. Oh, that gets you started, right? Wait, what does that card do already? I didn't. It's like gets pumped for 0 on trample. I'll counter on it when it enters the battlefield. Whenever another creature or artifact you control spin a graveyard from the battlefield. Too much waiting. That's kind of cool. That gets you started, right? So you go Goldhounds. We still need the money. You go Muddiel into Goldhounds into the Goblin. Does that work? Is that infinite? Well, it's just an infinite creature, infinitely large. Are we just playing a terrible Amalia combo deck? Is that what we're building? A way worse Amalia combo deck? I'm being kind of serious. Are we wasting a lot of time building a bad Amalia combo deck? What's the upside? What's my combo? Turn 1 Module, turn 2 Intruder, turn 3 the new 1/3 Goblin, sack one of your artifact lands. It's like kind of a 4-card combo. And then you get an infinite Intruder attacking, but no trample, and also an infinite 1/3 for the next turn. I think your individual pieces can be stronger. Yeah, that's fair. You have a better beatdown plan. No, you do have a better beatdown plan. I mean, Mario's beatdown plan's bad, unless you count the 3/4 that can like take over games. Worst combo, better beatdown. You do get Inti Fable, I guess. This is one of those decks I'm gonna wait till someone else shows me it's good instead of using my time to build it. Yeah, but I have a Pro Tour to win in like 1 month, so that'd be good if said person was me. Harden scales. How does scales help us? None of a card. I mean, Inti. So our goblin is like 2x infinitely large. I don't get it. Hangerback Walker. Sorry, I missed it. Wow. Chill, Victor. Sorry, dude. I can't catch every message. Oh, once again. Let's see. So what's the combo there? No, Experimental's bad with 3 mana cards, I think. Play a Reckless Fireweaver. Omnisource. We're still doing the set review, but we went on a like deck building experience. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, that I mean it's just win more. It's just win faster, but it's not part of it doesn't help our combo. Dina, a little black green splash. My mono red 8 colorless lands. I think there's a lot of cards that do what Dina does if you want to play more colors. Oh, it's like Dina. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. So what if you go Module, Fireweaver, Goblin, but you don't have the mana to get started. Codron, yeah, there's a red. You could probably do a red-black build, maybe more mid-range. Take a quick look at the mono red ones. Any of these cards kind of exciting on their own. I don't see any good cards. Voice Strider. Could almost be a John Company deck, maybe. But you're probably just a worse John Company deck. Oaf already built a deck for us. One free for free whenever you sack an artifact, put a counter on it and add a red. Sack a map, get the red, put a counter. But it's not infinite. What format? Mostly Pioneer. Can incorporate the combo into the install shell. So you'd want to play Module. That's really bad with your 2-drops. Put the install on Module, but it's not very exciting. Probably not. What side? We have Magic Online, we have Scryfall. Gingerbrute? What does Gingerbrute do for us? Module is fine with Inti. Inti's live. You can't like be like, oh, my Inti's just gonna live. No big deal. Ornithopter. That's why we're playing the artifact lands. If we keep it mono red, it's free. Wow, I just get a free companion, Ornithopter. Just free. That's cool. Should we search sacrifice an artifact? Is that gonna work? All caps. Alright, this guy does it all. It gets +1/+1 and it deals the damage. Nothing good, right? What if we do another? It's good with Inti. Yeah, that's true. We could play Ornithopter. It's gonna start being a lot of cards where no, not affinity for equipments. Stupid. Deal breaker. Giganta or Hangerback Walker. Yeah, I still didn't really quite get the Hangerback Walker. Would be a good Giganta deck. I think any NT Fable deck is probably a decent Giganta deck. I mean, this doesn't look terrible. I don't think this looks terrible so far. Ooh. Oddron Intruder is kind of nice, no? Gain that ability. That's it, though. +1/+1 counter. Copter. Yeah, Copter's probably good. Yeah, sell them. I'm breaking it live. I'm breaking the Pro Tour format live. Just me and Twitch chats. Surely that deck's gonna be fine against temporary lockdown. Oh yeah, why am I even building this deck? Fucking temporary lockdown. Fucking blue-white mages. Seriously. Screw them. The Fling Vamp over Fable. Insidious Roots. Yeah, maybe we just need to be jumped. Alright, it's not a here there. Alright, let's move on for now. Yeah, versus new cards. Alright, did I add Crime Novelist to the list? Yeah, I can't play Jungler's Artifact lands. The mana enters 2 mana. Oh, that's the new... Someone mentioned it, Mark mentioned it. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact or discard a card, draw 2 cards. So it's Tormenting Voice, add instant speeds, except you can also sack an artifact. That card's pretty cool. Does it have applications? Atraxa? You can discard your extra Atraxa in the creativity decks. You can sack your tokens. If you're trying to reanimate, maybe. In Pauper. Who has artifacts and wants to discard cards? I mean, Deadly Dispute shows better in Ragdos Sack, right? So it would be in creativity, but I don't think you have room for that in creativity. Unless you're playing creativity and reanimating stuff. Discard cat, though. And the Gearhulk deck, is that your card drawing spell of choice? Where was I? Sorry. Okay. Creativity, that's modern. Creativity persists. It is nice for this Rand, you have all these extra lands. But you don't have artifacts to sack. It is instant speed. It's just worse like for Smart Command probably in the creativity decks. But for Pioneer, God Pharaoh's Gift. Yeah. Not even gonna add it to the list for now, I think. Inheritance. 2 red. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, its controller may exile damage cards from the top of their library. They may play those cards until the end of their next turn. So you want to deal damage to your own creatures? Actually, on a recent FNM Pioneer was God Pharaoh's Gift. If you have, yeah, it's like it was one of the best standard decks. So it wouldn't make sense that it could be good in Pioneer. Board Altefurix, yeah. The Lunish Raise, a red instant target creature control get +2/+2 and gains haste on the left turn. When a creature dies this turn, create a 2/2. When that creature dies this turn, create a 2/2. So it's a pump spell that gives haste and you get some. It's like if you trade, you get a 2/2. Is that better than Monstrous Rage? Kind of cool. The Scapegoat. Is the Scapegoat actually good or is just art? That's ridiculous. 1/1 for a red haste. When it enters a battlefield, suspect it. Whenever one or more other creatures enters a battlefield under your control, it's suspected. You may suspect one of the other creatures. If you do, it's no longer suspected. Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm gonna assume that card doesn't do anything special. Ooh, 2/1 Prowess Haste for 2. You've got my attention. When it's turn face up, discard your hand and draw 3 cards, disguise 6. That card good? 2/1 Prowess Haste was Upside. Goblin? It is a goblin. I mean, are you ever gonna disguise it? I need some mid-range deck. Mid-range aggro deck, I don't know. Seems a little like weird of a card that does nothing very well. It's just like too much in the middle. Feels like that card's just in the middle, you know? It's like not good enough as a 2-drop, and then the other effects just way too expensive. I could be wrong. Being a relevant creature with haste on turn 2 after Kumano is good. Yeah, but there's better 2-drops, right? Just gets Fatal pushed and stomped, even if it's 2 toughness. Feels bad. Galvanize, a red and 1. Deals 3 damage to target creature. If you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, deals 5 damage. Let's go to his Fable. That deck, I mean, is it better than Volcanic Spite in creativity? Is it worse than Fatal Push, right? Worse than Heartless Act? Pioneer creativity, maybe it kills Shieldred. Yeah, Shieldred is a problem for creativity. With all your removal that do the same thing. Spite is so sweet too, and Spite targets Planeswalker. Seems kind of Orangutan? 2/2 for red and 2. Ape, okay. Reach, okay. When it enters a battlefield, choose one. Destroy up to 1 target artifact. Or second artifact. If you do, put 2+1. Okay, cool card. I don't know who wants that card, but what artifacts are you even destroying in Pioneer or Modern, really? Galvanize is just a worse Fry? Galvanize? What? Fry targets Planeswalkers, right? Can't be countered and doesn't kill Shieldred. Pretty different cards. Copter, Bangbuster. I mean, you've got Call Against Command, Prismari commands. Feels like all these cards are maybe better. Alright, let's move on. Goblin Maskmaker. When it attacks, phase out spells you costs 1 less to count. Wow, it's basically what's it called? It's Lackey, Goblin Lackey. Whenever it attacks, phase down spells you cast, this turn costs 1 less to cast. Any good disguise cards? Turn 1 that, turn 2 put a disguise card into play. Broken. Alright, let's move on. Oh, looks like there's a lot of goblins. Crime Novelist is a goblin. Ringleader is legal, apparently. Harry Dronesmith. Okay. Mythic Dragon. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. Innocent Bystander. Okay, Knife. I like the name. Knife. Okay, Krenko. What about Krenko in a regular just... Like if Goblin is an archetype. Free haste. It does a lot. It does a lot. Are we done? Yeah, I kind of moved on to see what the other cards were and think about it more. Also, I remember that Temporary Lockdown is a card in this format, and that feels pretty bad, but maybe. Bus Crusher, the anti-Lotus Field card. Can you really afford that card in your sideboards? Over Damping Sphere? Would you play that in like Ragdos Mid instead of Damping Sphere for the Lotus matchup? Damping Sphere works in other matchups too, right? It works in against the Cascade deck. Not Cascade, but Discover deck. Unless you just want to put that card in your main deck. Which is, let's see, 4/4. Is it how bad is it? 4/4 Flying Trample. For each player, destroy up to 1 target non-basic land that player control. I mean, it's fine in the mirror. Hive, every time I watch a Ragdos mirror match, Hive ends up winning the game for someone, I feel. It's not terrible, right? Who else? Like, if you're lucky, you can screw Phoenix and they're 2 basics. It's like fine in the mirror. And it is like, you do like win on the spot, right? They're never recovering, realistically. You expect a lot of Lotus Field for some reason. Thoughts on the red cases? I had the case of the Crimson Pulse as a build around, you know. I did add it to the list, but speaking of adding to the list, was I supposed to add anything here? No. Can be copied with Fable. Yeah, it's always a plus. Phoenix has 3 or 4 basics now because of the 8 field people. I've not seen 4, I've seen 3 ones. Lamplight Phoenix. Free for free flying Phoenix. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4. If you do, return Phoenix to the battlefield tapped. Maybe if it had haste. Let's move on. Unless someone, obviously, always feel free to stop me if you think what card is better than I think it is. Yoshino Assassin. Free 2 for 2. But it does have Disguise, so 3 mana. Pay 1, Disguise. Not good, right? Field of Ruin effect is also not 0 against a 4/5 color deck. Probably won't screw them, but can make a mana a bit tougher. Not really, right? The first effect. Also, if they have Alnef in play, you're gaining them life. And you're back over to Ganta. I mean, we didn't go super deep on... Probably not, no. I'm not even sure what Hangerback does for us, really. Pyro Performer could be good in red-green beatdown. Feels like it's only good if you have other disguise cheap stuff, but... No, I mean, that card's way too weak. No? I mean, am I missing something? Wow, shock, gas. They couldn't do 5. They couldn't do so that card at least kills the shield red, the suspicious detonation. Really? Shock has good flavor text. She realized that she could not, in fact, handle the truth. Torch the Witness. Torch the Witness deals twice X damage to target creature. So for 2 you deal 2, for 3 you deal 4, so if you trade with shield red. This X damage was dealt to that creature, this way investigates. So for 4 mana you kill a shield red and you get a clue. Does it exile? No. For 2 mana you kill a harvester and don't get anything. Why they printed the anti-combo deck? Just in case, you know, they put Crime Novelist in the set and then they put Vengeful Tracker to be like, okay. You never know. Alright, not a ton for red, but I mean, Crime Novelist could just be game and Bus Crusher. Ooh, Acuno cards. Green and 1, Aftermath Analyst, 1 free.